What's up everybody, this is Neil O'Rourke here with a tutorial on how I get my djent tones for my songs. I'll show you guys a snippet of a song at the end that uses this exact tone. Unfortunately I can't record my guitar and my voice at the same time. Just the program won't let me do that. For starters I use Line 6 Podfarm 1, FL Studio, and my guitar is a Schecter Griffin 7 with a Crunchlab 7 pickup in the bridge position. For starters, I generally like to split up my tone into two parts. I have a bass part and a treble part. The first thing you're going to want to do is set up some noise gates. Noise gates are good just because they kind of filter out all the noise that you don't want, all the scratchiness. Just so you really only hear the harder picked parts of the tone. Then you want some screamer pedals. This just tightens up the low end of the tone, because that's kind of what you want with a djent tone. It's their kind of trademark, is that tight low end, mid crunchy, distorted tone. And for this treble part, I'm using the Plexijump lead. You can see all the settings here. I just found it to be kind of a nice mid-range tone, very suitable for djent sound. And as you're looking at these knobs, let me just say that what you put these at, the volumes and such, it's all pretty subjective to the pickup that you have. Like I said, I actually switched out the stock pickup with a Crunchlab, and I had to do a lot of changing to my settings to make it sound nicer. So just keep that in mind as you're changing these settings around. For the bass tone here, I use Line 6 Chemical X amp head. You guys can take a look at these settings too. The one thing I will say though about these settings is that you want to keep the gain and the drives relatively low, because that's also something that kind of defines the djent tone, is a relatively low gain and low drive, because you want all of your distortion to actually come from the pick attack. You want to be able to pick extremely hard and have that be the factor that actually distorts your guitar, because that's how you can get distortion and note definition at the same time without it sounding muddy. So also keep that in mind. Moving on, we have compressors. It's just pretty straightforward. It's just compressing the sound. Not much to say. And lastly, we have some EQs. I've done a lot of EQing, just messing around, trying different spots to see how it sounds. And this spot right here, around, what is it, 260 hertz? Just this general area right here seems to be the best spot to dip. I don't know why, it just is. Actually, when I put this through and open my FL Studio, I do some additional notching. I can cover that in a tutorial later. Notching is a good technique to, I don't know, just take out frequencies that you don't want, frequencies that sound fizzy or unpleasant. So yeah, EQing, it's very important. And for this bass tone, you notice that I kind of boosted the bass a little bit just to give it a better sound. And you also want to roll off the high frequencies, just like I said, so you don't get that scratchiness or that fizziness in your final tone. For cabs, you can see I actually don't have any cabs in these models. I'm actually using some impulse cabinets in my FL Studio. I can't show you right now, but maybe I could in another tutorial. I'm using God's Cab impulses. I don't know if you've ever heard of those, but they're very good impulses, very high quality, and I do recommend them over any cabs that come with Podfarm. Um, it's kind of interesting because impulses is one of the few things that are free that are actually better quality. They're better quality than what you can get in Podfarm, which is kind of ironic, but I do recommend that you use impulse cabinets instead of the stock cabinets. Um, Not that you can't get a good sound using the stock cabinets, but generally, you have more options if you use impulse cabinets, more options to, tailor your sound to specifically what you want. So yeah, I do recommend using them. So I think that's it. I don't have anything more else to say. Just, I guess maybe some last words. Just, it's going to take you a long time uh, to dial in on a tone. I've spent a lot of time recording a song, recording a guitar track, seeing how it sounds in a mix, then going back and tweaking a knob or two, and re-recording it. It's just a process that you go through, that trying to refine your tone to make it fit into your mix as best as possible. um, so it's going to take a lot of time, but yeah, it's just, you just got to keep at it. There's no magic bullet that's going to just make your tone fit perfectly into your mix. I mean, some things can help. Obviously, you want some decent pickups, and you can spend as much money as you want on amp simulations or amps and microphones and all that stuff. But when it comes down to it, it's just effort and the time that you put into trying to dial in a tone. So with that said, if you guys like this tutorial, leave a comment in the box below, give me a like or subscribe, and if you guys want, I can make some more tutorials of other tones, other ways to get a good sound. Oh yes, and as I promised, there should be a snippet of the song using this exact tone, so you guys can hear firsthand what it sounds like. Thank you.